Hey, before we start this episode, I need to dedicate this to Cold and Wet Weaver. That's right. I'm dedicating it to someone called on Patreon, Cold and Wet Weaver. Thank you so much for your months of support. We really appreciate it. Now, on to the review of Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
Another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the ultimate blown-out camera Final Fantasy podcast. I am your host, Caleb.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I am Joe.
And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are reviewing Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
We are getting into the area of very little... Knowledge. Sure, yeah.
A lot of people, apparently this is a bigger game than we thought, but even with that...
It's a bigger game than we thought, but we got 0 reviews.
Are you serious?
For this game.
No one left us anything?
No one left us anything.
Did they give us questions at least?
One person did give us like 4 questions.
Oh, is it the one person?
I'm deeply disappointed in our audience that has played Tactics Advance that they did not tell us what they think of this game. Although some people I was streaming last week. I know there's at least one dude who's like, it's his
the only
favorite
fucking game he's played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aldwin, I think.
Yeah,
is his
and
name.
you're like, oh, how come you had trouble on the last boss? It's like, oh, because I didn't have my fucking handheld to the game.
What are you talking about?
All right, now, Caleb, now you need to do this.
That guy did not help me in that final fight. He really didn't.
All right, the final fight, fine. Really, the only thing that helps you is fucking RNG in that thing.
Do you want tell the audience just what you have done in the last 24 hours?
Well, mostly grabbing my knees and pulling them to my chest and just like quiet screaming in my room at like 4:30 in the morning. That happened multiple times. I thought I was gonna like shit myself because I was like really clenching. I was like, motherfucker! Ah! I was getting Joe mad. I was like, this is sick. The fucking cutscene is like an hour, and the fucking everyone's little moves take forever, and then like the game, because it's it's random. Like nothing is 100% right. Nothing is a certain hit. Nothing is 100% in this game. So like sometimes I'll get hit a shitload, and sometimes I won't get hit a shitload. It's like the very beginning of the fight. Like chick walks up, assassin. She takes a swing at me after I move to the one square that I always move to because I know she's going to come over, and I've got counter with 2 swords on, and I'm like, I can kill her. But 50% of the time, she'll hit me for a shitload. The other 50% she'll miss. And then 50% of the time, I will miss both of my counterattacks. And then the other 50% of the time, I'll fucking destroy her with the counter and kill her in one go. And so it's like this toss up at all times. And then right after that there's another ninja guy that comes over and does like 40 damage to me, and I'm like, I've got like 6 health immediately in this fight. Immediately. The moment I step into the ring, like don't even get like the little cutscene where the characters are shit talking to each other. It's just I'm almost dead, and my guy's like, yeah, come at me. So that's what I've been doing in the last 24 hours. I knew
How much sleep did you get?
Yesterday, the night before last, I got 4 hours.
Nice.
And last night I got about 2.
And you've got a whole day of recording ahead of you.
An entire day of recording, and then...
Okay, you'll have all your energy for this show, and then you'll slowly die throughout the day.
Yeah,
until
I'm just snoring on the guest thing we're doing later.
Yes.
Like, what do you think about this song? I thought it was not boring at all. It's the best song on the thing. But yeah, a lot of a lot of tactics, not a lot of sleeping. And I did end up beating it last night, obviously, because we're doing the review today. I was doing a lot of side quests and a lot of extra shit, as per usual, in the game. And then I kind of put that all to a screeching halt. And then the biggest problem was that I didn't go to town before the game ended. And I didn't overwrite the other guy who played the game before me, save file. Because I like looking at how much better at the game I am than he is, because he's slow. And this is coming from a guy who left the game on for at least 4 hours while not playing. Because there were a couple fights that I would do at work, and I just left the Gameboy Advance on when I came back from lunch, and then the next time I got a break, which is usually about 2 hours later, I came back and finished the fight. And I did that for at least 4 hours of my my playtime. So
mine yesterday. So I didn't think I was going to beat the game.
Yeah, I didn't think you were going to beat it either. That's why I was taking my fucking time.
I didn't think I was going to beat the game because earlier in this week, I really just effed up my entire just like life and brain or whatever. So I went from working at FedEx to being like immediately sedentary, and I'm writing and I'm playing games and doing stuff for Nude Clan and all this other crap. All is sitting and staring at a screen. I decide one day I'm just going to do a shitload of tactics. And I woke up, played tactics, and then went to bed. And then the next day I woke up, played tactics for about 7 hours, maybe 8 hours, I can't remember. And then my eyes were just killing me. I was having like the worst headache on the planet. So I was like, I cannot put a screen, like looking at my cell phone hurt. I was like, I got to keep the screen like far away.
Yeah,
Like,
so you went and saw a movie.
So I went and saw a movie, which
you're like, the screens are hurting. Let's go to the big screen.
Which is not as hard on your eyes.
It's not a screen, is why. It's a fucking projection.
It's a projection of light, yes.
So yeah, it is technically different.
Anyway.
I was going to be a douche, but I was like...
I told people on Twitter and shit, and I didn't stream that day when I woke up because the internet was being a piece of shit. I didn't want to stream and I didn't want to play the game, and then I suddenly had like a second wind, and I decided that on Friday I was going to do Final Fantasy Fridays, and I'm going to keep doing that from now on, by the way. So I'm going to be streaming a long stream every Friday. So
except for this next game, because
I'll wake up, stream, and then go from there. I'm going to see what I can do if I can stream it. I probably won't be able to though.
I guess you could pirate it. I mean, we both own the game. In fact, we've bought so many copies of it.
I'm not going to pirate it to stream. No. And I almost did that for this.
I'll tell you what, though. I'm jealous of all the people who do tactics on Twitch other than us, because that's what they do, and it is lightning fast.
I bet it is.
It's fucking fast, man.
I bet it is.
I'm like, damn it. That could be me.
Anyway, I got a second wind. I told myself I was going to play 7 hours or bust on Friday. So my save time was at 35 hours. I come back tomorrow morning, or yesterday morning, sorry. Oof, time is becoming circular. Yesterday morning, I got up and I was like, I'm going to beat the game, or I'm going to try to. I woke up without streaming. I beat 2 of the fights, and then I was like, oh, I only have 1 fight left. So I ate breakfast, turned on the stream, and I beat the game, and my final save time, Schweiss, 36:24. The how long to beat time is 50 hours.
Yeah.
It's a lie.
I did like 40 more optional missions than you, and mine was only 37 hours. Oof. So I don't know who the fuck is putting their times up there, but it must have been the guy that was playing on my DS, just 1,000 entries.
Oh, wow.
That guy taking his sweet time.
Someone had cleared all 300 on my
yeah, I saw
blog.
that. I saw that image.
Yeah.
I was like,
should have just been like, oh, that's me.
That one was like 87 hours or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 88 hours and all 300. He's got the stars. It's cleared. It's like, this guy, whoever had this game before me, was sick. He was sick.
Oh, it's like that Ape Man guy, the dude of legend who has like all the Final Fantasy Platinums. It's probably his copy.
Dude.
And now you are touched by the ape.
Anyway, we did get the game done.
We did.
In 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I think we're going to slow it down.
You don't think you're going to be able to do 17?
I'm going to do 7 hours a week. So that'll finish the games up. That'll finish the Final Fantasy games up by next week. People who read my blog
next
will
week?
know. No, by next year.
Isn't that the 17, though?
May 2014. That'll be our 5th year anniversary.
Oh, that's when you're counting next year?
Yeah.
As not like next calendar year, the thing we've been using for...
I mean May 2019.
Okay.
That's what I mean. So I'm going to be doing those Final Fantasy Fridays, getting most of my playtime in on those days. I'm going to try that for a few weeks and see if I actually stick with it. So I'm not going to make any promises right now, but we'll see.
None like the 17 Final Fantasies you promised like a week ago.
We can get into that next episode, Schweiss.
Joe plans.
Yeah, Joe plans. Let's get into that next episode. Anyway, you want to get into development?
Yeah, we can dive right in. So, Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced is a tactical role-playing game developed and published by Squareco for the Nintendo's Gameboy Advance. The game was released on February 14th, 2003 in Japan and September 8th, 2003 in the United States. It was also released on the Wii-U Virtual Console on January 28th, 2016 for Europe and March 30th of 2016 for US and Japan.
Oh.
But you would have to be one of the 13 people who bought a Wii U by that time to access the game.
Oh, man. I didn't know that was available there.
Would you...
I bet the graphics are updated a bit, or at least cleaned up.
Barely, come on. How much advancement is the Wii U over the Game Boy Advance?
I just mean it probably doesn't have the blur effect that happens when you have to go through 16 different things to stream the game.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. The game isn't a direct sequel to Final Fantasy Tactics, which is something neither of us knew coming into the game. I had no idea what this game was.
That's bullshit. It may not be story-wise a direct sequel, but it is, in fact, a sequel to Final Fantasy Tactics. I understand that it's not a direct sequel, but no one names their game Final Fantasy Tactics Advance without calling it a sequel.
No, but then that's just like calling Final Fantasy...
I know it's called Star Wars 2.
That's like
it's not a sequel to Star Wars.
Well, Final Fantasy has never been a sequel to the previous Final Fantasy. So your argument just
Final
fell
Fantasy
apart.
2 is a sequel to Final Fantasy 1, although it has nothing to do with the story.
No, I don't think that's...
It's a sequel in other aspects. So that's bullshit. It is a sequel to Tactics.
Spiritual successor.
But
is all.
It has nothing to do with the story, whether or not it's a sequel. It's a sequel in game, in essence, in merchandise. All the other things.
So the game does share several themes and gameplay traits, while bringing a few new ones to the table as well. The game's development began when Square announced its publishing agreement with Nintendo. Advance was developed by a recently acquired group of employees of Quest Corporation, which those are the guys that brought us the Tactics Ogre series. So they were kind of the starters of the tactical RPG. Mm-hmm. The game was initially thought to be a port of Final Fantasy Tactics, but features a completely separate storyline. Japan players actually received a radio drama that broadcasts an expansion to the story on Japanese radio stations from January to March 2003. It's
another thing we have to review, by the way, now.
Can we hear it? I wonder if you can even
someone
find
did
that.
send me a link to it, and there are English
God.
subtitles.
No fucking way. That's awesome.
Yes, fucking way.
It sounds like next week. The game was mainly scored by Hitoshi Sakimoto, with a few pieces from Kaori, Ohkoshi, and Ayako Saso.
Really? There were that many people who worked on those 3 tracks, huh?
And Nobuo Uematsu made the main theme.
Wow.
So 4 people worked on the tracks that I don't remember at all.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Spoilers to how we review the music.
Yeah, you'll probably remember Sakimoto from Final Fantasy XII. He also worked on Tactics Ogre, Vagrant Story, and of course, the beloved Revenant Wings. The game's soundtrack was made purchasable on February 19th, 2003, and it features a whopping 74 tracks.
Okay, just because there's 74 tracks doesn't mean they're actually distinct music pieces.
That's the thing. Like
they are the same track repeated over and over again. I'm pretty sure.
When I read 74, I had to like old lady adjust my glasses, and I'm like, 74? Is this like the movie soundtracks where it's got like a Megadeth song, but it was never actually in the movie?
Right.
It's just in the movie soundtrack.
Yeah.
This would be a cool song.
Music from and inspired by Tactics Advance.
Even though the song came out before.
Yeah.
This song was inspired by my thing that I created later, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah. That's how it felt to me. I'm like, God, it's 2 hours. It's like over 2 hours long, too, the soundtrack to this thing. Not something I'll be buying to add to my collection, unfortunately.
Nope.
Tactics Advance has sold more than 1 million copies between North America and Europe, and netted Square Enix, or Squaresoft at the time, $22 million by August 2006. So a pretty fucking successful game. The game received positive reviews and currently has an 87.64% on Metacritic, and it is hailed as one of the best games on the Game Boy Advance. That's something I've heard pretty steadily. Of course, I mean, we do live in like an echo chamber of Final Fantasy, so it's kind of hard to be like, oh, I knew it.
Just definitively.
Yeah, everyone loves it. It's like, well, everyone in this group.
Okay, who's the person who came up with the story?
That I don't know.
Okay, all right.
No one wants to own up to it, so they just leave it alone.
I wonder why. Want to get to it?
Yeah, let's talk about story. So, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance centers around 4 children named Marsh.
I'm already out.
Mute, Ritz, and Doned, who live in a town called Saint Evilise. The album that no one really likes that much. They are transported to a realm called Evilise after discovering...
Saint Evilise.
I know, we should have made a whole album on that. Called Evilise after discovering a magical tome. The story follows Marsh as he navigates the dream world of his friends Ritz, Malher, and Mute Randall. So that again, you follow 2 people's bad sushi dreams at once. This is 2 separate people dreaming, and you're trapped in these 2 people's dream. That's one dream, but from 2 separate people who ate the same bad fish. That part's made up. The fish, there's no explanation other than the magical book.
Yeah, there was just the book. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, they ate bad food. This is a fever dream. That's what this whole game is. Your little brother Doned is also here. And I always voice
Is it Donned? Is it Doned? Is it Doned?
I always said Doned in my mind, but Doned, or Donned, I guess works too. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
God, the names in this fucking thing, dude.
Yeah, the names in the cowlicks are insane. I always voiced him as Jimmy from South Park whenever he was on screen because of the wheelchair. Of course, that's Timmy's character, but this guy talks, so it can't really be Timmy.
Either way, crippled.
Yeah, either way, crippled, maimed.
You did this on your own because you didn't stream this game?
Yes, I did this on my own.
All right. So you were just in your living room, your girlfriend was upstairs, you were talking to yourself in Jimmy's voice playing the game.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I was.
Let's be clear what situation you were in.
All alone, yeah.
Also when you were at work playing this game.
Yeah, and everyone's like, what the fuck?
Marche.
Mash, sir.
It's officially Marche.
Yeah, is it really?
Yeah, because the commercial that sells
the game. Oh, you're right, yeah.
It's Marche.
That thing.
I called him Marche and then went to Marsh and then Marche. I never decided on one when I was playing the game, and I actually did voice act a good chunk of that game because I streamed it.
Nice. So, Mute, your pal, is pretty much scarred from the death of his mother. And upon having a bad bit of curry from his local Indian restaurant, he changes the world for his friends upon reading this aforementioned book. Ritz is a platinum blonde who absolutely hates being called Blondie Locks or whatever the fuck.
Whitey Locks.
Whitey Locks, that's right, Whitey Locks.
I had to play that part twice because I apparently didn't save. officially Whitey Locks. Real problem with Whitey Locks.
Don't call her Whitey Locks. Your younger brother is also a super huge fan of Final Fantasy, which is like the most meta part of the game, and it felt dirty. It felt like gross. You know, it was like I was watching Batman versus Superman at almost any
here's
point,
the thing.
and it's just gross. You just feel grody, like you need to go take a shower. Like, this is filth.
Do I have to defend half of Batman v Superman again?
Even the
half of it,
even the half that the movie's named after, still felt gross to me.
All right, well, whatever.
But it's still less gross than the fucking stupidity.
Here are the
of the
two episodes
half.
of Nude Clan devoted to me and the others arguing upon whether or not Batman v Superman is okay or bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I started the game thinking that you could just save your place there. I started the game going, this is a normal Final Fantasy. We're starting in Ivalice, and it's schoolyard, and people are chucking snow at each other, whatever. And that was like, I don't know, it's like a 40-minute cutscene, I swear to God, at the beginning of the game. And so I was like, okay, this is what it is. It's like a kiddie version of Ivalice and of FF12. Not that Revenant Wings wasn't a kiddie version of that.
And this one's not gyrating and
the
lowest cut.
Don't tell me. Don't
lowest
remind
cut
me.
pant
Thank
of
you.
all
It's gross.
time.
Yes, it's
yeah,
gross.
it's fucking cringe.
I was like, okay, this is normal. And then he's like, my favorite book is Final Fantasy. And I was like, oh my God, this thing jumped the shark.
No, what happened is you're like, wait, it's not a book. And you're like, wait a minute. No, it's not. You can't do that. You can't. You can't say the name of the series.
This can't both be a Final Fantasy game and reference Final Fantasy.
It's not like Game of Thrones where each book they say the name at some point where they're like, it is truly a feast for crows. Like, that works, but you can't be like, this is truly the Final Fantasy. And like everyone looks at the camera for like 5 seconds and then like resumes whatever they were doing. That's how it felt in this game. I'm like, Jesus. And it was instantaneous. Like you said, it's like fucking 5 minutes in. He's like, do you know Final Fantasy? And he's like nudging you. And you're like, yes, I know Final Fantasy. Yes, stop.
It would be as if James Bond went and said that his favorite movie was like fucking Die Another Day or something.
Yeah, like current James Bond, like the last James Bond movie. Yeah, it'd be that ridiculous.
It would be that stupid.
Or like he's playing Nightfire or something, and like he gets called on a mission, and you're like, what?
That's the stupidest thing.
Why would there be a Nightfire game? He's real in this universe. What the fuck?
I was out on that one. There were 2 jump the shark moments. That was one of them. And the other being Whitey Locks, which I'll get into when we get through the rest of this.
Yeah. Super meta. And honestly, I do think the game suffers from that right there. Because it happens a few times where they mention, oh yeah, Final Fantasy's great, isn't it? Isn't this a great Final Fantasy? Isn't Final Fantasy really cool? I'm like, Jesus, we get it. You made a really big thing and you like it a lot. You don't have to make your characters like it too. That's fucking weird. It's wrong. So Fantasy Ivalice is a reincarnation of Mute's memories from a Final Fantasy game. Oh, so this is where it gets the curry dream. This is the like not cooked curry, and like you're really sick because like you're burning up because it was spicy, right? And you're also burning up because you're fucking dying. So he's like trying to remember this Final Fantasy game as he slowly just cradles himself to sleep, and it's all fucked up. It's all wrong. It's tactics, but just meta, and
it's advanced. It's too advanced for us.
It is. It's too advanced for him. It's too advanced for him in his dream state. Marsh wakes up alone in this world and begins his quest for home post haste. He eventually realizes that life is way better managing a war tribe known as Clan Centurion, but is still longing for home. Of course, you get to name your clan. What did you end up naming yours?
I just went with whatever the default was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I changed it to the clan from FF12, the Clan Centurion that Montblanc is.
My clan was called Nutsy on default.
Really?
Yeah.
I should have done Nude. I don't know why I didn't do that.
Clan Nutsy, and I'm like, is this a joke?
Is this your attempt at funniness?
Yeah.
Square? Yeah,
That and Whitey Locks, whatever.
That was... I would say Nutsy's probably a little closer to maybe thinking about a chuckle. Whitey Locks, so it's just like... I don't know, it's like when you get hit with something really, really cold when you're kind of drowsy, like you just woke up a little while ago, and then like someone just happens to throw a fucking cup full of ice water in your face, and you're like, oh, Whitey Locks.
Whitey Locks.
That's what that was.
God damn it.
and you got to it, like I was watching your stream, you got to it, and I was like, God, that's bad. And then like 5 minutes later, I got to it too, and I was like, it didn't get better the second time. Like it didn't. It didn't make it any easier either, because it just comes out of nowhere. So, anyway, Marsh soon realizes that his entire town has been dragged into this new world, which is dominated by adventuring clans and, of course, his sniveling buddy, Mute, who has somehow managed to become king. It is his dream, but come on, I mean, you can't...
And the bad guy of this game.
And the bad guy, the main bad guy for a long period of the game. Yeah. Also, he has pretty ridiculous hair. Your Marche, your main guy, he's got a fucking cowlick. He's like, if you think that what's his name from like Little Rascals has some crazy shit going on
Alfalfa.
with his alfalfa hair,
You're welcome.
This guy's got it even more. It's like the Jedi braid in the front. Like, and it's like a foot long too.
I honestly don't have a point of reference.
He just looks like a bird. That's what it is. He's a bird. He's a bird
like a quail.
Yeah, like a
but
fucking...
no, because that's Waka. Waka's the quail.
Yeah, Waka is the quail. His is close though. It's a close Waka. It's like he had like Super Saiyan hair, but he cut all of it, but this one lock that he just left. Really long,
and somehow it stays up,
and it stays. The gel that goes into that is not. He gets it from the same place as Waka, but he doesn't buy as much.
There's something about Mary. The hair gel,
yeah.
The hair,
yeah,
about a foot longer, but about the right hairstyle.
There you go.
So he's got cum in his hair, keeping that up. Is that hair gel? It's a great movie. Okay, go ahead.
So Mute isn't teased in this new world like he is in real life. Ritz isn't an albino. Don Ed is still Jimmy, but he can walk. And Marsh is a monster. He's just a beast in this world. Sid, who is Mute's father, is the judge master of the world of Ivalice. So Marsh sets out to destroy the crystals that bound this imaginary world together. Each of these crystals corresponds to someone's called Totema, and each race has their own Totema that represents them. They kind of do different things. Most of them do attacks, and there's one that the Viera, one of them, like, I don't think it attacks, but I only use it like twice.
They're one of the two summon systems in this game.
Yeah.
You get the Totema when you build up enough JP, which is something you get when you do usually a large amount of damage to someone or something. I know there's a system.
It's a preferred amount, or it's
the...
With the JP in this game, it's you either KO somebody or you hit them with the recommended weapon. So, like, how the laws have, like, you can't do this, but this is recommended. If you do the recommended, you get a JP point.
Oh, wow. I could have actually ground JP had I known that.
You could have, yeah.
That's nice.
If you
you got to get 10 JP, which takes forever. And
about forever.
But then you can basically, at a certain point in the game, you can kill everyone with a Totema hit. And then a little later on, it becomes you can take about half of everyone on the field's health down with a Totema.
And it's just like
which is pretty nice.
Quick summon. It is a good way to start a battle.
But it's like story based on like what race is in your party. It's like
certain races
depends on whether or not you can summon that.
Yeah. And each of the Totema battles are kind of unique in their own way. I mean, there's the one where you're fighting Ultima, basically, or when you're getting Ultima and you have to fight the crystals. That one is pretty unique and can be a pain in the ass if you get a little too close and then you just watch the game play itself for a little while and then you escape you escape their thraldom and fucking get your control back. But Yeah, those are interesting. One of the final bosses, whose name is Lendar Twem. That is his name. Lendar. The old Lendar Twem is an actual manifestation of all mutes' negative emotions or recessive genes, if you're a fan of Metal Gear Solid. In the end, of the recessive genes.
It's like, ooh, you need to take one biology class before doing this game.
This is the 90s. We know this. In the end, we find out that Mute's mother is really Lee Grimm, which comes from the book that they had read earlier that basically manifested itself as Mute's mother. And in the game, so Mute's mother who's dead, so it's Lee Grimm, but also Mute's dead mother, but also Queen Remedy, who is Mute's dead mother in Ivalice. So it's like this sandwich of stupid. Apparently, there are a couple side plots to the game. If you do all of the side content, one includes a foreign crime ring. Like they used to be a crime ring, and now they're like a clan, and all of their adventures. And there's another one where Marche actually never leaves Ivalice and becomes next in line for Judge Magister Sid's sword. That's if you complete all 300 missions. You get like a new quest line that opens up.
Oh, that's where the other areas are at, I'm assuming. So I still had a couple open spots, which is an interesting part. I
think I had only one open spot by the end. So probably comes from there.
I had two.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much the story in a nutshell.
Okay. All right. So
but it's in one of those. Sorry to interrupt you. It's in one of those pistachio shells that's completely sealed. You know, if you've forgotten one of those, I usually just throw them away because as great as pistachios are, it's not worth breaking your teeth over. That's what this game is in.
I'm not kidding you. Closed. I do think this is the worst story of all Final Fantasies that I have played.
You think so?
I think so.
Even more than Revenant Wings?
And I mean plot-wise. I don't necessarily mean character-wise, because, I mean, there were some interesting things with characters. But I mean, it fucking starts with the meta bullshit, and then it goes into it was all just a dream, and then it goes into... This pisses me off more than the meta thing. Whitey locks. Okay, this girl wants to stay in this world because in this world she has pink hair.
Yeah, pink hair. So a normal hue of pink.
Normal hue of pink. Someone said green hair was gross later on, but apparently pink hair is real cool. Whitey locks. So apparently her curse in her real world is that she was born immediately with white hair.
So she's an albino.
I don't know what the fuck she is, but apparently she has white hair. Now, her story, as was translated through the Game Boy Advance version of this game, was that she would wake up every morning and her mom would dye her hair in order for her to have a normal existence. No, first off, there's something chemically crazy with her hair if she has to dye it every day, which she flat out says. I played this scene twice, and I had to make sure that, in fact, this was correct. Every day she dyes her hair, and her mom cries over it. Every day.
So really her hair is brittle and just breaks. Like you touch it and it just like snaps off and like slowly swoops down to the ground like a feather.
Number one,
tufts.
Nobody thinks anything wrong with white hair. Like straight up white hair.
Nobody cares.
No one cares.
Yeah, like fucking what's that guy's name? The comedian dude that has white hair. He's had white hair since he's like 20.
Yeah.
Like he's fucking famous.
I got a guy who I know that I did play with. Dude was like 27, white hair.
Nobody cares.
White hair. And you know what? It did not matter to him in any way because that guy was knee deep.
And it wasn't in white hair.
It's something.
It could be.
Okay? All right? He had no problem. White hair did not stop anything. I guess platinum blondes weren't awesome in 2002. whatever. Okay, that's what it is. But still.
Every day.
First off, who gives a shit if you got white hair? That's number one. Number two, you don't have to dye that shit every day. There's something wrong if you have to dye it every day. And no shit, I'd be like crying if I were her mom because you're like covered in chemicals. There's something wrong. It's getting into your teeth.
Yeah, it's eating your fucking fingers away. You're breathing it in. You're getting cancer from the fumes. Like your hair dye budget is bigger than your mortgage.
Oh my god, it's worth. She had to give up her cigarettes in order to buy hair dye.
Yeah,
hair dye every day.
Horrifying. All for this child.
This is so stupid.
Yeah.
This is the dumbest fucking story, and especially that side plot. I can't think of a worse one. Maybe YRP.
Oh, definitely YRP.
This is fucking stupid. And and it commits the sin. So at the beginning of the game, everybody tries to help this little sniveling piece of shit kid at the beginning of the game, right? Because he's being picked on at the snowball fight. And here's what the people who made the game do. They make him the bad guy. At the beginning of the game, they go, don't pick on this kid. You know, he's just... And then they're like, no, you need it. This is the message that I'm receiving from this game. No, fucking stop that kid because he's going to be a piece of shit when he gets to the kingdom.
Don't be a pussy. That's what Tactics Advance is.
God, what is this?
Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
So,
don't be a pussy.
Final Fantasy Tactics Advance does not know how hair dye works.
No son of mine is going to be a sniveling little bitch.
Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Final Fantasy within Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Yeah, don't pick on the little weaklings because otherwise they'll come back to bite you in the ass.
Only the strong survive. That's what this game is. You see that little weak one? You got to stomp it out. You got to snuff him out. Cut it.
Otherwise, he'll fucking do some weird magic shit. And you're gonna be stuck in a kingdom without your.
He's
family.
gonna eat some bad food, and you're gonna be in an awful world where he's ruling and he's fucking
honestly.
ruthless.
Keep throwing the snowballs with the rocks in it. Keep doing it.
In the beginning,
make him bloody.
Yeah, I had a theory that the game was based off of his like coma dream after getting hit with the rock. I mean, of course, we do see the magical book, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's pretty bullshit. But like, it still could be a dream of that. But see, here's what I'm thinking it actually is. I'm thinking it's a dream within a dream. This is Inception within Final Fantasy, because it doesn't make sense for these people to play Final Fantasy within the world. That doesn't make sense. What I think it is, I think this game is a direct sequel to Lightning Returns, which I know it came out before Lightning Returns did, but bear with me here, because Lightning Returns...
So Lightning Returns is a prequel.
It's a prequel. It ends with the reforming of the world, and it's Earth at the end, right? Super fucking stupid. Super fucking stupid, awful ending to the Lightning trilogy that... just terrible. I think this game is one of those people who had some bad food, hallucinated, created this group of characters. They then hallucinated and incepted into a new dream. And so the guy from Lightning Returns is trying to like find some magic within his own world through the dreams of himself and his dream character. It's like Lightning Returns, Inception, and fucking Assassin's Creed all bundled into one, where they're like trying to go back in time and like find ancient artifacts so that they can take them for their New World Order bullshit. That's what this game is. It's a direct sequel to Final Fantasy XIII Lightning Returns.
Did you like the story, Schwei?
Honestly,
final thoughts on the story.
It didn't bother me that much. There is some stupid shit in it, I will agree, but it is kind of light, and the game is never...
It is light.
The game never tries to take itself seriously, which is what bothers me in Final Fantasy, is like, it'll try to take itself seriously, and then stuff like this will somehow seep through, and that's when it hurts the worst for me.
I'm pretty sure Whitey Locks was supposed to be a serious scene of
Probably, yeah. That's probably just awful, but
God damn it. I think some of it could be the translation. No one should ever have to dye their hair every day. Because obviously there is magic in another world because that's what it would take. That's what it would take to make the dye.
And that's another support
disappear
to my theory that they are from a dream world and their dream characters are dreaming. Because that's bullshit. No one dyes their hair every fucking day. That's bullshit.
No one cries about it every day either.
Yeah, no one
If it's something you're used to, you've been doing it every day for the last, 3 years or whatever, how old the characters are, I don't even fucking know. You should be used to it. You shouldn't be crying every day. You got fucking real emotional problems too.
Yeah, it's like showering.
Guys, I'm not even kidding. I am not incorrect about this either. You can watch this scene. She says she dyed her hair every day. And every day, her mom would cry over it. Ugh. Okay. All right.
Pretty bad.
I did not like the story. I'm sorry.
I think it
was real fucking dumb. I rolled my eyes about every other cutscene. Or it's just like, this is so stupid.
Yeah, there were some good characters in the game, though. Like, obviously, I liked Sid. I liked the main guy.
Yeah, I liked Sid.
Mute was all right. I mean, his character was, like, kind of snivelly and whiny. But I mean, his mom
we needed to stuff him out early.
His mom did die. So he felt realistic. It didn't ever feel like... And they felt steady, you know, like the characters were always kind of true. There's sometimes in these games where, like, the characters will do, like, a 180 and they'll, like, flip-flop. And they seem out of character almost. That never really happened in this game. Yeah, it's lighthearted, but I still don't necessarily like it. I think it works within itself, but I can't stand the meta-ness of the "Did you play Final Fantasy?" And then, like, at the end, Mute's like, "Oh, let me see your Game Boy, dude," and he like fucking waddles over because he's some fat kid in my mind. He's like, "Let me see your levels. Pull up your save data."
And I'm like, give him a Craig voice,
and I'm just like, hitting my head. I'm like, save data, and he's like, let's compare files. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like. Fuck, he's like, all right, use your Game Boy. He like looks up at the screen. Use your Nintendo Link cable to show me your characters. Like, God damn!
You can buy the Nintendo Link cable for $20.99.
Click here. Like that's how it felt. Like at times, I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like I already have the game. You don't have to sell me on the game. I own it. It's right here. I fucking have it right here. Just. Yes. At the end, it was extra painful for me, honestly, because I was like, finally. And I was relieved, and I'm happy, you know, because I finally beat the stupid final boss that nuked me multiple times. And then I have to suffer through that shit. That fucking cutscene where he's like, let me see your save data, dude. I'll help you beat the Mateus fight. And I'm like, no, you won't, you little fucker. You're stuck on that, too. But... and like it's that stuff really bothers me. That stuff is like it's breaking the third wall like horribly. Fourth wall. It's breaking the fifth wall too. Because it's an inception thing.
Fourth wall, Schweiss.
We're breaking the fourth wall within a dream, so it's the fifth wall.
God damn it.
It's the subconscious. The unconscious mind is being tapped into with this thing. And that part I really don't like, but oh, the overall tone is kind of cool. Honestly, I think this game shines in another place, though, and that is with its gameplay. All right, so as we all know, this is a tactical RPG, so we assume it plays very similarly to Tactics.
It does play similarly to Tactics with a couple important differences. First off, how you get abilities. It's really similar to FF9.
Yeah.
In that way, where they're based on the items that you get in stores or through battles or through stealing or whatever. And you equip those items for however long. You get so much XP on that ability that's connected to that item. Then you can move on to the next item or or if you've gotten all the items, you can just find the strongest weapon.
Yeah,
and you can use that. I think the system works really well in FF9. It doesn't work as well for me in this one, the leveling up system particularly. But I think when I got my mind wrapped around it, I was just kind of like, it became kind of the norm when I was playing it, so it was fine. I know you liked that system a lot, though.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I really dug it in Final Fantasy IX just because it was kind of an interesting take on what FF6 brought us. Because Final Fantasy VI, the way you get magic in that game, as everyone knows, I'm sure, you equip the summons, and then the summons have certain spells, and then over time you'll gather AP or whatever the fuck something P in that game, and you'll gain that ability.
I like that system more.
I think I like FF9's a little more than this one because the variety kind of tapers off near the end because certain classes will start getting kind of the same abilities or very similar abilities to what you already got in your other class. So it's like, well, yeah, I changed to this class, but I mean, I'm going to bounce back to Archer again, even though I've been a sniper forever, because Archer has more abilities, and there are some bitchin' abilities back here. So I'm like, I felt like I was downgrading at times. I did enjoy it in a few ways, though. I liked having when I finally got the dual wield thing. Did you ever get dual wield?
I did.
That's awesome.
That's at the point. I played for 7 hours to get dual wield.
Yeah.
And then I basically plowed through the rest of the game.
Yeah, I still had a hard time on the final fight, but that's honestly most of it's the RNG and then me being stupid. But one awesome thing that I did in the game I wasn't doing a lot of damage, but what I did was I equipped Marsh with 2 blood swords. And traditionally, as we all know, blood swords siphon health from the enemies and give it to you. So what would happen is somebody would hit me for like 80 damage, and then Marsh would like turn around and counter him with 2 blood sword hits, and I would just gain it all back. The damage was low. It was like 50 attack each time, but I was gaining 100 plus health.
But you were staying alive.
Yeah, so I was like invincible, dude. It was awesome. Nice. I ended up having to cut that shit out because like I just wasn't doing enough damage near the end because the final bosses do not take
the
damage.
Bosses at the end, all of a sudden their armor, their resistance to everything goes way up. By the way, Black Mage, don't even worry about them. Black Mage spells do fucking nothing for the second half of the game.
Once you get the Agas there, they do decent, but
they
not
do
for
decent
the boss fights.
Not for the ones that you fucking need strong characters for. No,
yeah. And I never got any meteor. I never got any flare, holy, anything like that either. So I don't know the really uber magics. I never really tapped into in the game. I just didn't have the items.
If I were to replay this game twice, and this is for anyone out there, I would have leveled up my characters enough that they were okay. And whatever classes that they needed to be in, get Marsh to Ninja ASAP.
Yes,
and then
make him a paladin, and
then do the dispatch missions, which is it's interesting in this game as opposed to the last Tactics games. You go into the pub, you get missions, and then some missions you have singular characters that can go out and do those things, and then they'll get experience from it and usually earn an ability or two.
Yeah.
And then you can just like re-equip and put them out on missions again. Just fucking do that for like 10 hours until you get dual wield. And then put everybody in a class that they have one damage class, and then their secondary thing is something that can raise other people, and that's it. And just all you do is support and speed up Marsh.
Yeah.
And have Marsh dual wield and kick everyone's ass.
I actually had another guy that was stronger than Marsh.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, his name was Camus. That was pretty funny. It was like the Cameron character.
Cameron, yeah.
Each of these Tactics games, I've had like Sanders in the last one, and then I have Camus this time.
Good old references.
Yeah, good references to real life. Another reason why it's a Lightning Returns sequel.
Yeah, so your dream actually manifested.
In this guy's dream. Of a dream, yeah.
Of a dream.
It's Titus too. Titus is it's the dream of the faith is what it is. So it's 10, 13 Lightning Returns and Tactics all in one game.
I do yeah. All right. It's turn-based. It does play exactly like Tactics. If you never played Tactics before, it's like the original sort of turn-based system of the first 5 or first 3 Final Fantasy games. Only it's on a 3D plane and includes one where you move people around and where you are on the map also affects that. In a secondary part, they do have about 5 abilities that you get from the different jobs that you switch to and from, and you gain those abilities and you can put them in certain slots. So you have like a counter ability, and you have like a support ability, and then you have 2 action abilities, just like in FF5.
But that's all you had in 5 is the 2.
And that's all you had in 5 is the 2. It's like Tactics.
It is,
like Tactics before.
Which I still think is the best battle system in the series.
Battle system? Are you serious?
As far as the setup, yeah, I think it's better than 5's. I think Tactics is better than 5.
No. Anyway.
It only exists because of 5, though.
That's true. I think 5 is a funner game than Tactics was.
I won't say that that's not the case, but I do think Tactics has a cooler setup. Just because of how much shit you can do. Like, I can have the counter on. I can have the dual wield. What I ended up doing at the end, though, is I had my main guy. I actually learned counter, which takes forever. I spent time doing the grinding, and I got him to learn counter, and then I equipped the sword with not counter. I learned dual wield, and I equipped the sword with dual wield on the other beat stick character.
Yeah, learning dual wield does take forever. I was thinking about doing that, and then I was like, nah, I'm 3 battles away from the end of the game, so I'm not going to take my time.
You can
to
RNG your way through the end if you need to.
So
believe me. And yeah, so I had 2 people with the dual wield on.
That's amazing.
It was fucking awesome. One of them had
I'm surprised you had so many problems on the last boss because of that.
We'll get into
My
it.
entire tactic on beating that last guy was keeping Marsh alive and with haste. And that was it. And Marsh was the only person who I had, or basically the only person that I had attack the final guy.
See, I couldn't do that. I had to do more people attacking.
Ugh.
I guess I probably could have done it, but...
everybody else was worried about keeping everybody alive and at full health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, one of the nice things about this game that I think it does better than Tactics... I don't know if you remember, but for me in Tactics, when I was doing any sort of protective spell or haste, the percent chance was always kind of shitty, and I would end up missing a lot of people. And for a game that takes forever to get back to your turn, when you miss a turn, it's rage-inducing. I would get pissed in Tactics. I'd be like, Jesus fucking Christ, I fucking want Protect. I cast Protect on all of these people. And it's one motherfucker, and it's the white mage. The one that doesn't need Protect. Because no one's going to attack his ass because he's not doing any damage. That shit got really old.
Or he's not
in
getting
Final
close,
Fantasy
at
Tactics.
least.
Yeah, because he doesn't need to. This game, you don't miss every fucking time that you do something. I mean, there's still a lot of fucking missing in the game. Let's not be unclear here. You'll still miss a shitload.
Yeah, you
but
will.
You won't miss with the spells.
Can I say that
Quite
in
the
the
same.
original Tactics, the percentage thing, so you get when you select a guy to attack, it'll tell you the percent chance that you're going to hit or not, usually based upon where you stand and what their defense is or speed is or whatever.
Yeah, speed, yeah.
And then about how much damage you'll do. Now, in the original Tactics, that number, if it wasn't 90% or higher, was probably going to be a miss. In this game, it actually seemed like the percentages were real. If I had 30% chance of hitting, if I tried it 3 times, I would hit once.
Yeah.
Fucking original Tactics was a lying motherfucker.
Yeah.
And this one actually told the truth, which I found nice and refreshing. It was I can actually, be tactical about my decision here.
You can actually...
Instead of being like, oh, shit, it's at 85. I'm going to miss.
Yeah.
85% chance really is a 5% chance in the original one.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, it's not even a mental thing. I bet someone can crack into that game and find out that it was bullshit all along.
Yeah, they were lying to us.
Yeah.
Then they'll have to flee to
dude.
They'll have to flee to a third world country.
Oh man.
Live in exile.
This one in improvements past the original Tactics, almost everything to me in the gameplay department was an improvement.
Yeah, I like the side quests more. I mean, they're basically the same in Tactics, but I think the ones that I did, they must have had weird settings on them, because in this one I was able to pound through the side quests like pretty fast. Mostly just walking between towns until the days.
The side quests were nice.
finish.
It was nice that you
got good rewards from them. In Tactics, I got like garbage.
the random battles, which are in this game, they aren't random. They have little clans that you're trying to war against or whatever. They'll pop up randomly, and you can sometimes meet them on the map. Usually, if you decide to. They do. I think they do level up with you, but they aren't sick.
What they do is they're the average level of your party. And what happens in this game is they constantly throw new party members at you.
That you aren't going to use.
That you're not going to use. So you're fighting guys that are like level 10 when you're level 30 almost.
Okay.
So you're fucking
be what
destroying
it is.
them.
Okay. That makes sense now why I can
Well, you fucking steamroll
I only
the
had
poor
Marsh in it.
clans.
Well, that is nice, though.
I soloed one with Marsh.
And I'll tell you why that is nice. It's because in the original Tactics, I remember I got to a point where I wanted to grind. Or I needed to grind. I needed to level up. But I couldn't even beat the random battles. So I was in deep frustration. But in this game, sure, they're half the level. And now that you've told me that, I didn't know that. Sure, they're half the level of you. But you will get, some XP by fighting them.
Yeah.
And if you need to get yourself out of a rut, you can.
Yeah, you can just leave.
You can't fucking do that in the original one. You just gotta keep fucking pounding until you get lucky enough to kill one of the random battles of like 20 fucking monks that are there to ass rape you. God, dude.
The monks, yeah.
I
never.
That's an improvement.
The monk death squad.
The monk special
you Buddhist,
forces
you Buddhist,
unit.
bro?
God damn it,
Oh,
dude.
shit.
Don't even fucking...
Oh, shit, I'm not Buddhist.
The pain in my heart thinking about that shit is horrible.
They got their bandanas. Fucking losers.
Yeah, and for random battles, because this is a tactical game, things can go crazy. The game is forgiving enough to give you the option of just failing a battle and not game over, and then you just go to the screen and you can try it again if you want. I really dug that. The battle system is at least 25% faster.
Yeah, it still has the lag sometimes though. Like the characters will still be like, like you'll it's like you caught them off guard. Like you're.
Sometimes that does happen. You're right, but that was every fucking bad guy in the last game.
That's true. Yeah, they're like this. I just imagine the old fax machine noises just like going off, and they're like looking at all their things. It's like playing chess with like a really good chess player, and you just want to play the game. Like you're okay at it, and they're gonna destroy you, and they're gonna destroy you, but they still take forever to do it.
Really?
That's what the old Tactics felt like.
Every guy that I've known that's really good at chess is also really fast at chess.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just really bad at chess. That's why. So I'm like, man, this guy's great.
That's probably it.
The queen is the warrior, right?
It's a faster game. They don't have. Sometimes they'll have like 8 bad guys that you have to fight against, but it's not fucking 12 like in the last game, which is nice when you're like taking forever on these goddamn fucking things.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: if you lose a main battle in this game, you lose a max of 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay? The main battles in this game are not very long, unless you're like a player who does like a lot of support stuff. Which I'm not, because these tactic games, it's like the support stuff, unless you really need it, don't even fucking bother, because it's going to take up a turn, and your guy's not going to be able to move until the white mage's turn is up and get cast shell or whatever.
Yeah.
So unless you absolutely need it, you're probably not even going to use it. But the fact that it is faster made this experience enjoyable. The original Tactics, fucking 45 minutes to an hour lost sometimes if you got a game over on one of the battles. And honestly, that was the part of Tactics that I absolutely hated.
That was the part.
I hated how much fucking time I put into that fucking game. and it just fucking it punished me for it.
Yeah, that's what happened to me last night in this game. I seriously started.
Not to say this game doesn't get brutal.
I seriously started, but the thing is I died. I had one death game over before the final fight. One. And that was Matius.
Oh, I had a couple.
I had one time. And then the final fight took me like 3 hours to beat.
Ugh.
And I was up there like I wasn't punching things. That's usually what I do. Because my girlfriend was sitting there sleeping, so I don't want to start like punching the metal bed frame. Like that is a go-to because you got to feel the pain to like chill out, right? That's the fix.
Never felt that in my life.
It's the fix, man. And I'm up there, and I seriously, I just like put the game down, and I just like grabbed my knees, and I just like fucking. It's like I needed to take a huge shit, and it just wasn't coming out. And I'm just like,
what if you did take a shit?
And I'm just sitting there, like, just making these little, like, noises, just like, fuck it. Oh, fuck it. Because, like, 30 minutes at a time, 30-minute chunk. And I would get to the end tier of this boss fight. The first two were not that hard. But there's, like, so much dialogue. And I don't care about it. I didn't care about it the first time. I didn't care about it the second time. I didn't care about it the fifth, sixth time when I beat it. Like, it... And then I get past that, right? I get past all of the bullshit, and then I get in there, and the fucking final fight, she just destroys everybody immediately one of the times. Immediately. I get in there, and she casts, I don't even know what the fuck it's called. I blocked it out of my memory. She casts it, and it wiped everybody. And Marsh has the little, like, angel ring on, so he got back up, whoop-de-fucking-do, and then the other 7 enemies came and, like, slowly and methodically destroyed me. I'm like, oh, shit, Phoenix down, I'll try to get this guy up, and then they're like, nope, there's another big fucking AoE attack, fuck you. And it's like, and that happened, I died to that Uber attack, I think 3 of the deaths. Like, it just kept happening. And then the time I won, she didn't do it at all. I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you and your RNG, you piece of shit. There are people out there that probably just beat this and don't even know that move exists. They don't know.
She used it on me the first time, and Marsh survived.
It fucking destroys.
And so I lost the game.
It's sick. It's like, I'm like, holy shit.
Second time she did use it.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, second time.
Dude. I was so mad.
So I'm sorry, that is bad luck. Your party, I know. If you had 2 guys with dual wield, your party was actually stronger than mine. You can do more damage faster than I could. So I'm sorry to hear you say that you had to. How many times you had to do those 3 fights in a row?
Well, see, I started dying on the first fight later because what I tried to do is I tried to get my totema for each race because I was like, fuck this, man. I'm going to summon every one of these fuckers at this guy. Because like what I did was... The game was like,
that
hey,
was just a waste of time.
The game was like, hey, do you want to save right at the end? And I was thinking about overwriting the Cages game on my DS, my cartridge or whatever, because it's got the 2 save slots. But I was like, nah, I want to see his so I can remember how much better I am at this game. And I hope I hope it's like a listener and they're just like, fuck you, but.
Yeah, somehow they knew that you bought that used Gameboy Advance cartridge a couple years ago. Okay, all right.
You never know, man.
Hey, listeners from Utah, let us know you're out there.
Let us know. Let us know what your.
We can go eat at the IHOP.
Let us know what your character name is, or clan name was for Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. But and I would get in, and it was just the game asked me if I wanted to save, and I foolishly saved over my spot, and you can't move. So, like, I couldn't leave. I couldn't go see if there was any new weaponry in the item shops, if I could maybe stock up on X potions. Because Marsh, I had the ability to use an item. So I could keep him alive almost indefinitely. And if I had haste on him, not a problem, right? Because he'll get another turn before they go at me again. So that's doable.
You misunderstood that final save.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was the game like, hey, you should save. But it was the game like, oh, if you save now, you're not going to be able to move off of this fucking tile.
You can move.
Are you serious?
If you can't move when you press save in that game, but as soon as you're back in, you can move. So you could have done some other stuff. I had to go get better equipment.
Oh, fuck. Are you serious? Was there new stuff in the shop?
No, but I looked around and I was comparing stats, which I wasn't doing because you're just getting abilities.
Yeah,
so
you're
not looking at stats. But for the final fight, I was like, I gotta get the best I can, and so I got maybe 5% better stuff, and it went a lot better for me, believe it or not. But
yeah, I ended up doing that too. I didn't leave; I stayed on that same fucking tile. But and then I honestly starting.
Unfortunately, you could have done a little bit.
See, the sucky part though is the laws. The laws aren't random. That one guy's right. Like they are.
Yeah, you cycle through them, and I go, okay, I have to get to the spot in 8 turns. So I go through the map, and I go around. It's like a circular
like thing. Yeah.
And you can check the laws with the right trigger when you're on the world map.
But see,
explain the laws.
The laws in this game. So there are judges that monitor every single fight. This is some deep state shit that has surfaced in this game where they're
more powerful than kings and gods.
They regulate they regulate your street brawls in this thing. Like they don't stop them from happening. They just have a little whistle and they're on the sideline making sure you're not breaking any of their rules. The judges sit on the side and they have like certain laws, which are things that are banned from the fight. And these can range from using white magic, black magic, and attack, believe it or not, horse shit. So you can't attack anybody in some of these fucking fights in this game. Copycat, yeah, that bullshit.
So if an enemy attacks with a physical attack, you cannot then attack with physical attack. You have to do a different move.
Yeah, the laws are a pain in the ass. Someone at my work that played the game brought up a good point, though. It does kind of make the game a little bit challenging. It
makes it challenging and it gives you something new.
Yeah, other than the laws, the game's pretty easy.
But I wish that fight wasn't one of them. That's insane.
Yeah, oh, dude. And it had missiles and abilities that were blocked for me in the end. So I couldn't use my archer without her getting banished. And abilities, dude, I had my Templar. I had to sacrifice that motherfucker. I was like, you're going to have to go, buddy. And you didn't
think you could move around before.
Yeah. So I couldn't get the laws to change.
Oh, my God, dude.
And I had an anti-law, and I used it, but it didn't get rid of one of the ones I needed. So I thought I was fucked, man. So I got my Templar in that final fight, and I'm like, look, man, you're gonna have to cast haste on Marsh, and you're gonna go to prison. But
it's worth it.
Do it for the family.
Do it for the
family. You'll get mad respect when we kind of get you out. Just serve your time and remember the omerta. Good luck. God. It was fucking ridiculous, and he did. He got sent to prison, and like I beat the fight at the end. But that's the thing. Like in these games, I have to have one like glorified sacrifice in the tactics. Like Sanders turned to Crystal like, one turn before I beat the last guy. He's like, "I will live on forever." Crystal, and then of course, spoiler: everyone dies. But
you want to know what I did later on? So all my thing was just all get mom block. I didn't realize how important haste was going to be later on in the game. And so near the end, I switched Mom Block to a Time Mage, and then I had the Black Mage stuff secondary. Of course, later with the boss fights, the Black Mage abilities do only like 20 damage, which is not very much in this game at that point. And so I was like, fuck it. He had one Time Mage ability, which was haste, and then in his secondary was item. He was a haste monster. That's all he was to me. All his job was to cast haste on Marsh in the end of the game. It basically like made the part dual wield, the beat stick ability, made every other job useless almost.
Yeah.
Except for support Marsh.
I don't know. I still had my my second guy who did more damage than him.
Well, I didn't have that. If I did, then it would be Mob Block would be hasting 2 people. What else in gameplay have we not touched on, Schweiss?
Fuck you, Alduin. I don't suck. I was great at this game. I only started losing in the final fight, and that's because I didn't realize I could leave. So fuck off.
Twitch chat.
Yeah, Twitch chat. Gameplay wise, I liked the random encounters. I liked grinding out the abilities. It kind of felt fulfilling. I felt like I was getting shit done. I really liked coming up with sweet ways to kill people at times. So one of the things I did was I had a guy who was okay. So I had my Templar character has counter, and near the end of the game I equipped him with a bunch of Dragoon weapons because they attack 2 tiles away, right? And then like in Final Fantasy Tactics, I didn't have a Dragoon in my party this time, which was kind of upsetting. But I just didn't take the time to get the class unlocked.
I did, and then skills were blocked off, so I couldn't use jump.
Oh, really?
He was useless, so I turned him into an item asshole too.
Nice. So in the end, one of the fights I had a guy. I had my beat stick character, and he was in between my Templar with a fucking Dragoon lance and a bad guy who was behind him. So what I did was I was like, I kind of want to end this fight because the random encounters I do to grind out ability points and shit, which you can do from the optional missions too. But sometimes I just go do the random ones because it takes like a few minutes. So I would do a lot of the clan battles during lunch and stuff at work because I could get like 2 or 3 of them out. And I can't do 2 or 3 main battles because the game is so fucking slow. Because everybody takes like 7 years to take a turn, and like it's just a long fight, right? That's why you lose 20 minutes each time, is because they're long fights. I don't hate it. It's just doesn't work when I have a 30-minute time block to play the fucking game. So what I would do is I would go into these random fights and just try to gain abilities. So that's what I was doing, and I was like, I kind of want to beat this thing. And so I brought my beat stick character around, and he was in between the bad guy and my fucking Templar, and I did the little like wild swing move, or one of them that like does an AoE attack. Mm-hmm. And so I hit the guy behind me, weakened him, and then I also hit my Templar, who then like turned around and countered my hit. But he like went through me and hit the guy behind me because he's got the 2-tile attack, and he killed him.
Oh wow!
So he killed him with a fucking counter attack from my dude's attack. It was awesome. I was like, oh man, I could totally fucking do this.
One-shotting someone with a counter move with the dual wield is about the most satisfying thing in the world.
Yeah, I think Marsh with dual blood swords and haste is pretty awesome too.
That sounds pretty sweet.
But like I said, the damage fell off, but he was always full health, and he was just terrorizing, just going around, just like fucking.
So there's a lot of great things in terms of gameplay you can do with this game.
Yeah,
really. There's a lot of options out there. I did enjoy. Is there anything else we haven't touched on in the gameplay? You had a whole list of different aspects of game. Just make sure we got it all. Tough bosses.
There are 34 jobs
in total
in the game. I didn't really explore that
I
many
didn't
jobs.
explore a ton either.
I found ones that I liked, and then I stuck with it. I used the time mage a lot, though. So I had haste, I had slow, I had most of the major time mage abilities, and I honestly. Most of the game, I think Mont Blanc was a time mage for me, and I just had black mage abilities.
I kind of stuck with the balanced party fallacy of Final Fantasy. So, black mage, white mage, other people who had damage, and then abilities that could, or skills or abilities that could blind enemies and stuff like that. Eventually, of course, you throw that all out the window when you find out the system to destroy. But that's what I did for most of the game. Is kind of balance that, and so I didn't explore a ton either. I just kind of got the abilities I needed to get in order to get the classes I wanted to get, which was mostly ninja.
Yeah, pretty much ninja. What I did in the end of the game, and what I was planning on doing until I found out that you were going to beat the game. What I was going to do is grind out. I'm
sorry, I didn't mean to make your life a living hell today.
That's all right. So what I was going to do is like slowly get. I was going to learn the dual wield with my beat stick character, so that I can then go back to a paladin for him and have the paladin swords being dual wielded. I did end up doing that for Marsh.
Are the paladin swords better than the katanas?
The katanas I had, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The paladin swords were sick. Okay. And that's what I had Marsh as a paladin.
Oh, wow.
Paladin dual wielding. He had a save
That's
the queen
amazing.
And an Excalibur.
Okay, no wonder you were doing so much. I was doing like 60 damage to the final boss each time, so it was like it was good, but it wasn't like
Wait,
sick.
60 with both attacks?
With one, each attack was 60.
Oh yeah, that's about where I was.
Oh, okay. Well then, fuck your paladin.
But I could do.
I had ninja with secondary abilities as paladin, so I kept using one ninja to cover Marsh. to keep him alive.
Oh, okay, yeah. I used cover quite a bit too. Yeah, but the reason why the final fight was such a bitch for me was because it wasn't because I couldn't get to the third stage. I just started trying new things, and it was like it was crumbling. There was one where I was like, okay, I'm going to try to get each race their totem and try to get some JP, but like I just couldn't kill them off the right way, so that didn't work out, and then I died a bunch of times trying to do that. I played around with the ability as I was like, oh, let's try putting on some mirror mail and get reflect on there and see what that kind of kicks back, and that really only just made it impossible to heal myself, so that was a nightmare. So like there was just a bunch of times of me trying it, because I got to the final stage the very first time, like no problem. And then like after that I started tinkering and like toying with it, and then I couldn't get past the first stage for a little while because I would be like, well, I don't need a healer in the first one. It's an easy fight, right? Not an easy fight necessarily, because like I said, with the RNG, if the first two people hit your main character, you're almost dead.
Yeah, there were two bosses in this game that were a real problem. One was Medius, and then the battles got really easy, and then the final fight was really tough.
It's appropriate to have a tough final boss, though.
Yeah, and a tough one that tells you how tough the ending is going to be.
Yeah.
Basically, and like, get your shit leveled up to beat this guy, because then later it's going to get worse.
And see, the thing is, I only lost to Medius once.
Yeah.
And I almost beat it.
I lost a few times. And then I had to grind for 7 hours. Because I got to him 3 missions. The rest of the game, by the way, took me like 2 hours past this point.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not even that. An hour and 24. No, it was 35:08, so it was an hour and 18 minutes, Schweiss. It took me an hour and 18 minutes to do the rest of the game past Medius.
Nice.
But I got to Medius, and I had to add 7 hours of gameplay in order to beat him. So let me explain to people who are about to play this game. You cannot go what has been lovingly, I hope, referred to as Joe Core on this game. You do have to do the extra missions in the pub as you're going along, in order to make it so that you don't have to have a 7-hour grind fest.
Yeah, because with Joe avoiding...
Unless that's a grind fest out of game.
Yeah, with Joe avoiding
for it.
side quests until the end, I think I only ended up with, what'd you say, you ended at 36 hours?
36:24, and I remember that because of Brick House. 36:24, 36.
See, I ended at 37:15. So less than an hour more, and I think I had like 25 more of the side quests. So you can do the side quests. They don't take that long.
Yeah.
The game is not a 50-hour game. I think the game is a 50-hour game if you do a good chunk, like a lot, like 2/3 to maybe a little more than.
If you go completionist and do 300, I think that will take about 50 hours.
I think it'd be even longer. I think it'd be like 60 plus.
The dude on my save file did it in 88, so there's at least one time for you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not that long, but if you are going to play the game and you've, for some reason, listened to this spoiler-heavy review, do the side stuff. It's not hard. Just when you're doing it, please realize in the beginning, unlike me, that there are notifications or ways to see your success potential with the missions, because I failed a couple, and I was gonna go as completionist as I could in this game. I really was, but I failed a few early on because I didn't realize like the odds of success. So like when you go to a dispatch mission, you click on dispatch and it's like, hey, select the character to send out to do this mission for you.
I just randomly did it.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah,
I didn't
until Aldwin in the Twitch chat was like, oh, when the character on that menu screen jumps up and down,
that means they'll probably
they have a better chance of success.
If they're standing and like walking, they have a chance to beat it, but it's like 50-50, and then if you do beat it, you get like bonus stuff. And if they're crouched down, they're gonna lose. Yeah. They're gonna lose. So
there are some dudes on YouTube that, because everything is a chance thing, with the dispatch missions, they'll just straight up save right before the dispatch mission is supposed to be completed, and then they'll keep resetting because it's random right before it happens.
Yeah, it is.
And so they'll keep resetting until they get it, and then they'll move on. So that's what you kind of need to do.
That's what I ended up doing. Unfortunately, I did it after I failed some, so some of those trees were just dead.
So there's no way for you to do
as far as I know, there's no way for me to do the 300.
That you know of. We could be wrong.
I could go back in and do it very fast, I'm sure, because I know what the game is now.
Yeah.
But, and I'd be pounding through those goddamn cutscenes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's not that long of a game. Just keep up on the optional missions. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with doing them as they're jumping up and down. That's what I did almost all of them as. I didn't want to risk too many of the ones where they're just walking and it's like, oh, you might make it. Because I was like, you know what? I want to keep these alive. I'm getting decent enough ability points and stuff from each of them, even when it's not the, we got a bonus. And like I had like 500,000 gil at the end of the game. Like I don't need money. I don't need your bonus. So just keep up on those, and it'll be a 30-hour game.
I got one more thing to talk about in gameplay. So I think we're both in a similar page here. I think we both like the gameplay quite a bit. I think it's a pretty big improvement over the sacred ground of Final Fantasy Tactics as far as gameplay is concerned. Definitely not story. As far as gameplay is concerned, I do think it's quite a step up, and I enjoyed many aspects of the gameplay. I didn't enjoy it when I was getting my ass handed to me before I started doing side quests, but after that, I was back on track, and I was back to enjoying the game pretty well. This is not my cup of tea, this type of battle system. I'm not going to be replaying any of these games probably. But as far as a tactics game goes, this is pretty much like the system I am cool with.
Yeah.
My aspect of gameplay that I want to talk about that pisses me off more than anything else is the fucking menu in this game, dude. It's horrible. It's horrible. And Aldwin, I love you for the help that you gave me on this game when I was streaming on Twitch. Aldwin, though, told me I just sucked at the menu. That's what he told me. Not true. Not true. The menu is bad in every respect. The store menu is ridiculous, and then the character menu when you're doing your stuff. And let me explain why it's bad. You cannot get all the information you need easily. You have to go through like 6 different steps just to find out if one weapon is better than another weapon for a specific character. This is taking a lot of shit from FF9 as far as abilities and as far as like stats are concerned, right? But in FF9, when you're at the store menu, it tells you you'll have the list of characters, and you could do this with a 20 list of characters. I don't mind it. Just a little smaller typeface. I don't give a shit. You might give a shit if you're looking at half a screen, which is why I understand why they did it, but it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. You can find some way to get this information on the goddamn screen, okay? I just want to see if this weapon, if equipped to this character, is going to increase this stat without me having to go through like 9 different steps in order to do that.
Oh, you mean like buying it and then checking?
Basically.
What you gotta do in the game? Yeah.
Yeah. That's basically what you got to do.
See, I gave you shit early on because I was like, it's like you never played one of these games before.
I have played these games before, and they give you that information on one screen.
But then I started
maybe 2.
But then I started getting a little bit burned because I'd buy like a really pricey sword, and I'd be like, man, I wonder if I think I can equip that to my guy. And I'm like, fuck, I can't. Oh, man. I just spent like 20,000 gil on this fucking sword.
Ridiculous. I can think of like 9 different ways to redo that menu for the store and for the character screen and abilities screen to make it so that all the information is viewable. You don't have to have the little like logo of the shopkeeper up in the corner. Fucking get rid of that shit and add more room. Fuck that, dude.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It is something that kind of bothered me about the game too. That's one of the few things in gameplay that.
So me updating my equipment at the end, that was probably 25 minutes of me going in. Okay, I got this on. Okay, his strength stat is this, and I'd have to remember. Okay, it's 297 resistance here. Magic resistance is 192. Okay, if I put this sword on him, what is it? Okay, it's 298, and then I had to do that. It's ridiculous.
It is pretty
and
crazy.
There could have been like a 12-button mash thing that you could have do to get that stat. I don't know what the fuck it was. So that drove me nuts.
Yeah, that was kind of counterintuitive in the game, and that is kind of a weird thing for Final Fantasy because basically since the beginning that hasn't been the case. Actually,
efficient menus.
Since the beginning, they've been pretty much on the ball with that. So that was kind of annoying.
There you go.
The laws got kind of annoying sometimes too, especially in the end because I would seriously get banished because I had missile was one, and then I also had abilities. So like my Templar, when he would use his cheer ability to like increase his damage by a lot, I could use 2 abilities with him, and then he'd get red carded and sent to prison. That was just my life.
Oh yeah, and if someone goes to prison, you gotta
go bail him out.
You gotta either go bail him out, or you gotta walk around and do a bunch of battles. I never quite figured it out, like how to like get them so that they were completely clean. But that was an annoying system, but it was also part of the challenge, so I honestly didn't mind that.
Well, I didn't mind that until the very end.
Yeah, but you didn't know you could move around.
Well, the game told me every time I tried to move, it would just like kick me into the battle.
It would at a certain point, but if you actually had to like reset the game, you could move.
I swear to God, I reset it.
You could.
I don't know.
I promise.
All right.
Promise. It was weird and dumb because it was like, oh, you can't just like click on this area and go in or not, which was really dumb and counterintuitive. But I figured it out yesterday. You can still walk, but only after you come back into the game.
Some extra missions.
Yeah,
to get a little bit more prepped, just a teeny, and then maybe bought some more items because I hadn't been to the store in a long time.
So, overall thoughts on gameplay?
I think it's a pretty solid game. I think it's a pretty fun game to play. As bad as the story and as stupid as the story is, the gameplay makes up for it for the most part, I would say. I think this is a joy to play. And I want to, and I did go back in after I beat the game, even though I needed sleep. I went back in and I messed around and did a couple optional missions. And that's how fun the gameplay is. Normally when I finish these things, it's like, all right, that's it. I'm done. I have to go on to the next one because there's another 45-hour RPG in front of me. So I move on, right? But this one I want to go back to. And it's not because of the stupid story with its meta horseshit. It's because of the gameplay and how fun it is.
Yeah.
And I
concur.
Explore.
I concur.
I want to explore the jobs.
Let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about art and design and music. Okay, the look of the game. This is just a Game Boy Advance game. I played it on my 55-inch plasma via a billion hookups, and then played it a little bit on Twitch. So it was blown up, so it was a little blurry as opposed to like what its native size is supposed to be. You know, I don't know. It pretty much just looks like Tactics to me, just a little bit more cartoony. You know. Yeah,
I think it's a great looking Game Boy Advance game, I would say. And that isn't saying a whole lot.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of the best looking Game Boy Advance games that I've seen. And
I don't know, Super NES quality. Right?
I don't know if I've raged enough about the actual Game Boy Advance screen because I bought a Game Boy Advance and
someone's gonna be winning a Game Boy Advance, by the way.
Yeah, to shoot with a shotgun. Certainly.
I hope not.
It's awful. It is. Have you tried it?
Yeah, dude, I have it, and I played it a little bit with this game.
It's horrifying.
You gotta catch the light just right.
You can't. It's like the light has to be about 6 inches off of the screen because if it's on the screen, you're blinded. If it's off the screen too much, it's pitch black. You just got to tilt it, fucking dude.
There were lights you could buy back in the day that you'd plug in that would be made for the Game Boy Advance that would hover over it and would light the screen up in a way that you could see everything. I had one of those as a kid, so I now drain battery like fucking crazy. But that's what I did, and it worked just fine. The SP though, the more common one. It made up for that by having a backlight.
The SP it's beautiful, and the colors in this game are actually pretty vibrant. I'm kind of surprised at how how colorful this game is on the Game Boy Advance. Like, it's not if you play it on the Advance because there's no fucking color, but if you play it on the SP, or I guess there might be some color. I could barely tell. I could barely see anything on this thing. Like, I was so frustrated, like, thinking back, because I spent like $25 on my Game Boy Advance, and I honestly feel like I should just grab a 20 and just rip it in half every year, just to like just to remember the pain of realizing that I spent money on something like that. Hard earned money. So fucking awful, but the SP looked great, and thank you, Jacob, for letting me borrow that. By the way, this is like the borrow podcast where we just like borrow everybody's shit.
No, I bought a Game Boy Advance.
I bought one too, but I did not use it. I will never use it again, ever. I'm taking the batteries out of that thing, and I'm just going to let it sit there.
Yeah, if I could have gotten a first run of DSs where they had the Game Boy Advance slot, I would have.
Yeah, someone mentioned that. Someone's like, "Oh, how come you guys didn't just play DS?"
Because those are fucking hard to find at the used game stores. That's why.
I'm like, I have a 3DS, excuse me, and those do not play Game Boy Advance games.
No,
unfortunately, or I would have gladly played.
But this is the 3DS. Last game in our run that we will need a Game Boy Advance. So
first and last.
Yeah, there was a Kingdom Hearts game, Recoded or whatever.
Wasn't that on the?
But the remaster of it, it might not have been that game. It was one of the Kingdom Hearts games.
One of the
anyway. There was a remaster of it on the DS, so we'll be playing that version. Believe me, I honestly would just rather play on the DS because I like that system more. But, yeah, we don't have to touch the Game Boy Advance ever again. So that's interesting, huh?
Yeah. Oh, Aldwin brings up a good point in the chat. We need a Game Boy Advance to play Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles multiplayer. We'll use those cords that come with it. Yeah, you hook up the Game Boy Advance and you play
You don't just need another Game Boy or GameCube controller? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. It said multiplayer on the fucking box. Hold on now.
It says it, but I do think he's right. That's why that guy sent us the cords, because he's like, "Hey, I'll send you these so that you guys can play multiplayer on Crystal Chronicles."
That doesn't make any fucking sense. That's a That's a GameCube game.
He says they act as controller and map screens. We might be able to play it without it, but we have the cords.
If we can play it without it, then we're playing without it.
I don't know. Well, actually, yeah. The idea of having that as a map, that's like having a compass next to a magnet. That thing being your map, it's just trash. It's like the map that, you fell in a bunch of mud and you can't actually see anything on the map. That's what the Game Boy Advance map would be.
I mean, I have all the Crystal Chronicle games on my Wii, so I could just plug it in and find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or someone can do some damn
okay.
Google searches.
It says we can't play it without two people are saying it. It requires the Game Boy Advances. So, and we are planning on playing those.
Yeah.
Way. And it's too bad we can't do like a network connection, Like, why do they have to be so old? Especially if it was like a server.
We have to have the Game Boy Advance. What?
Well, I think they probably assumed everybody had a Game Boy Advance, which is a decent assumption to make, because I'm pretty sure they sold more than the GameCube.
You had to have the Game Boy Advance cord dealio, too.
Yeah, but
that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. If it is absolutely required that you have to have the Game Boy Advance to play the multiplayer of a GameCube game. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
Well, there it is. The dumbest thing.
I'm looking this up. I'm double checking.
If that's the case, we're gonna have to keep the Game Boy for a little while. Then.
That's right, we will.
So
I'll find out. Hey, winner will be announced next week, and I'll tell you then whether or not
you'll get a Game Boy in about a month or in 6 months,
in like a month, or if you're gonna get it in like 8 months. So anyway, all right. Hey, we aren't dealing with memory. You gotta, if you're typing on Twitch, should be able to Google it. All right. Okay. Art design, it was good. Cartoony design, It worked for what it is. It worked perfectly for the thing. The design of the menu, though, fucking could have been redone. Like, big time. Music.
Honestly, the music in this game, almost exclusively forgettable. which is disappointing. I mean, Final Fantasy Tactics has a couple of my favorites from the entire series. I mean, you've got the menu theme. That one's one of my top songs in Final Fantasy, and then the little pre-battle jingle that it gives you, the like Celtic sounding like thing, or I just imagine like the rolling hills with the mist and the fog.
Hey.
Yeah. You know, my Irish really comes out when I see that, when I hear that shit. I get a 6-pack of Guinness every single time. Horrible for the liver if you're playing Tactics, but
if you're not playing Tactics, it's fine for
it's
the liver.
great for the. You know what I call it? The liver workout. That's what I call it. That's what I told the guys at work the other day. I was like, man,
I'm trying to get hard, dude.
Yeah, I'm just trying to build. You know. I was like, I'm building here. I'm like, I'm getting some pretty good workout here. And like when I go home, I like to work out my liver a little bit too, and then do some squats after that. It's good to have a strong liver. If you don't funnel enough garbage
Toilet
through
squats,
it, it's gonna
most
forget.
importantly.
Yeah, it's gonna forget how to function. So you got to give it 15.
You
got to
give it some poison.
You got to give it 15 or so beers every few months so that it remembers how to do its
Totally.
job. Or you'll die when you're older.
Yep.
You don't. If you want to live forever,
Truer words
you're going to
never
have
spoken.
to binge drink at least once a month.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's
Any
how
alcoholics out there?
you survive. No, it's not. There's no alcohol.
All right. There is a little like flute part that they used in FF12.
Yeah, there's some FF12 music.
It's not FF12 music. It's Final Fantasy Tactics Advance music.
That's true.
Because this game came out
technically,
before FF12. But there's a little like that thing. Whatever piece of music that is on is straight up remade in FF12.
There are a couple tracks in this game that are remade to Final Fantasy XII. I don't know their names because honestly, 12's soundtrack isn't that strong, and this game's is certainly not that strong. But it did have the FF12 feel. It felt like Evil East to me.
It definitely is,
which is good, but it's musically.
I only ever noticed 3 different tracks. I noticed the battle theme, which was a really weak battle theme. The main battle theme almost was like an atmospheric walking through the town theme in any other game. So it like was not exciting at all. It didn't get me ready. It wasn't in the mood for battle. It was just kind of like, whatever this music is. Then there was like the map theme, which was fine, I guess. And then there was one boss theme that I remembered. And it was on the final boss. And it was like pretty like, it was bigger than the other pieces.
Yeah.
Like most FF games where they really bring in the heavy metal guns into or the Wagnerish sort of stuff into the final fight, and so it's interesting in that way. But otherwise, man, the fact that there is 72 tracks and I only remember 3 even being distinct,
that's not good.
Is not. If you're going through the FF games to listen to soundtracks, which a lot of the FF games have very strong melodic scores, this is not one of those.
Yeah.
And I honestly wish the battle theme was like a real battle theme.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, even the one from like Revenant Wings is better. I think most of the battle themes in the entire series are stronger than the battle theme in Tactics Advance. And it's not that the music was bad though. There was never a track that made me want to kill myself like the auction house theme in Final Fantasy VI, or anything along those lines. But like you said, I mean, I just barely played the game, and I can only think of like 2 or 3 tracks, and one of them is from FF12, and that's why I think of it. It's because I played FF12 all the time. So that's probably that and story are probably the 2 weak points of this game for me. Probably more story because the music was okay, and the story was just not very, very good at all. So
yeah,
it's serviceable at best, but it is hard to not look at it as a Final Fantasy. And like most games, just general games will have like at least one really, really good theme, you know? One song in it that's really awesome that sort of captures the essence of Final Fantasy or the essence of whatever game you're playing. And this one doesn't really have that. Like shit, I played Max Payne 3, and like, yeah, it's a real song that they used at the end, but like they used it at the perfect time, and like it made the ending this this majestic, awesome fucking thing. And this one,
Nah.
the ending theme it seems like a boss theme, but it doesn't seem like the boss theme. You know, like 13, you've got Bartandalus's theme, and it's this fucking huge, this orchestra, this
And
fucking
you got the hip hop
massive-
remix.
the hip hop remix, the greatest song probably of all time now. I think Metallica's One is replaced by that remix.
By the hip hop remix of the Bartandalus.
that thing is a 15 out of 10. But this one, nothing really like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
We need that Naboo. He was only on one of the tracks. It was the main theme.
All right. We got some questions, Schweiss. Well, we got some questions from one guy, one beautiful listener. So let's get to it.
Questions for us. We would like to hear from you. To our forums. Or contact us on Twitter. Get on and ask your questions. We'll answer them in the week. This is the question segment. Asking you will receive.
All right, so Black Mage Justin asks, is it worth picking up a Game Boy Advance just for this? Nothing in this world is worth picking up a Game Boy Advance. If you find an SP, however, yes.
Sure.
I think if you're a big Final
But then
Fantasy
I would
fan,
grab a couple other things too.
yeah, maybe one Pokemon game, and then maybe something
Oh,
else.
because you got them all covered, right?
Yeah, well, once you
That's
play
your
one,
joke.
you've played every single one of them that's in that generation, and the generation following, and then the generation following. But beyond that, they start to get a little bit different. But yeah, I would do it, but go for an SP. The backlight, I shit you not, it is the worst thing ever.
There is no backlight.
There is no backlight. Yeah, it's torture on the eyes, and I wear glasses.
Remember Palm
but
Pilots, guys?
I can see in front of me. I can't see far. I don't hold the Game Boy at arm's length, and I still can't fucking see it. I cannot see it. It's bad. So as SP, yes, I would pick one up. I think the game is a lot of fun. I think if you are able to look past a shitty story, which you probably are, for the fun gameplay, go for it.
Okay. What's our next question? I agree.
How similar do you find the mechanics to the original Tactics? Anything new or interesting?
I think we covered that in gameplay. Yeah, the mechanics have been improved
Yeah, laws
in general.
laws are different.
Yeah.
Learning abilities are different, but overall, you can tell it's a tactics game.
Definitely.
It does feel similar while also adding a few new refreshing things to the game. Has it made you retroactively like or dislike Tactics more?
It's made me... Time has made me dislike Tactics more. I was kind of lukewarm on the game, and then kind of like watching The Last Jedi, the further away I've gotten from it, the more hatred seems to seep in. The fact that I probably played an extra fucking 20 hours, and there's nothing to show for
It
it.
doesn't exist, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't exist because the game's battles are fucking 45 minutes long. Even a random fight is like 40 minutes long in that game. So the fact that this game is... it's the same system, almost, and yet about 25% faster, and thus more enjoyable from my standpoint. Thank you very much, by the way. Thus more enjoyable. Yeah, it's made me look back kind of like, ooh, like the other Tactics is not just, it's just not sitting well.
Yeah. For me,
The story, however, I do miss. I miss.
how dark and like
I was lukewarm on the story of the original Tactics.
What?
This one,
every time I turned it on, it was like the Game of Thrones theme song just kicked on for me. It's who's gonna die this time?
yeah.
Everybody.
And now I miss that lukewarmness compared to this story, but gameplay wise, which is honestly the thing that takes up the most time in these games, this is a vast improvement in my opinion.
I won't say it's a vast improvement on Tactics gameplay wise. I do think it is better. It's a little bit faster. Actually, it's like you said. It's about 25% faster. It feels. The gameplay. The game doesn't take nearly as long. The cutscenes. The dialogue is. It's about the same amount. There's still a decent amount of dialogue. And it's not really that big of an issue because this game's pretty easy. Although I thought Tactics was easy too for the most part. There were like 2 fights that were kind of a pain in the ass in Tactics. Mostly one. That fucking Gafgarian fight was ridiculous. But that was, honestly, part of it was my own fault. And it was just barely losing. I was like, just barely, the asshole would turn into a crystal. Just right before I got to save him. And for the most part, I don't think it really affects how I view Final Fantasy Tactics really at all. I mean, I wish that the system, the hardware, they would have kind of worked better with it and made the game not as slow. And I mean, I know the battles are pretty long, but I mean, part of the reason why the battles are long are because the characters, the opponents, take time to think about what they're going to do. And that to me, it's like if we kept all of our behind the scenes stuff on the actual podcast, like us just dicking around and like, oh, I need to go, like take a piss, and like you just hear like the flow.
If no one sees us on Twitch, we take the camera into the bathroom.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So you gotta be watching something.
That's what it would be like, and that's what it's like with Tactics and watching it just slowly happen. Watch it slowly take place, and then see them like think and like really evaluate their situation, which is annoying because that's like a back end thing. That's something you shouldn't have to see. You should just see like the polish, the beauty of it. I'm not like watching the 7-hour fucking behind the scenes commentary of all Lord of the Rings movies. Like, I'm not doing that right now. I want Lord of the Rings. I don't want behind the scenes Lord of the Rings. I mean, I do sometimes, but I don't right now. And that's how Tactics feels sometimes with the slowness. So that certainly does improve it. And that makes me more apt to maybe next time downloading Tactics on an emulator and like speeding through some of the battles just to enjoy the story and to enjoy most of the battle system in Tactics. But I kind of like how this one was a little bit more natural. I mean, there was a lot less of me hitting my characters, like just standing in a
hitting
corner,
your own characters,
standing in a corner and like punching each other.
Just to get your shit.
A lot less of that in this game. I still did similar things, but usually I had at least an ability or two where I could like just do an ability like, I aim and I'll do more damage next time with my bow attack. Like that'll give me experience and that'll give me AP and stuff so I can start upgrading. So I did a lot more of that in this game, which you can still do in original Tactics if you get the boost ability or whatever it is in your version. But less of that, so it felt more like a natural game in a lot of respects because you weren't pounding on yourself, which we've done for 2 Final Fantasies now, which is weird.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy II, of course, you beat the shit out of yourself and you get a bunch of HP, and then you go get ripped off by the innkeep.
Yep.
Rinse and repeat until you're impoverished, but really, really tough.
Strong. Yeah.
And then Tactics, where you just beat the shit out of each other for basically the entire time, and then you beat the game and you're done. So, yeah, I don't think it makes me view it any differently. It just makes me wish that Tactics were as fast as this game is.
Yeah. Okay.
But there were times where I did slow down. Like, don't get me wrong. Advanced had its moments.
I think we have one more question, actually. It looked like someone popped up, at least a comment in that question section.
All right, let's double check it here. All right, so the last one. Random dude, Aldwin for wider. Dun dun dun. The man himself, the guy who knows this game more than I know myself. Are you guys going to play a multiplayer game together? I think it would be some good fun. You don't get to play co-op Final Fantasy that often. I'd like to see how you tackle a Tactics mission playing together. First of all, we've got months, or at least about a month and a half of multiplayer experience together on just Final Fantasy XI and 14 alone.
Oh, yeah.
20
days of
25
gameplay
days.
time, by the way.
And I don't even remember how much I have in 14.
I don't even remember it. It's just it's a pit of short-term memory loss.
It's that pit that the Persian guy gets kicked into.
I'll never get it
300. That's what what it is. It's just
I'll never get that time back.
yeah. I think
I think Crystal Chronicles is going to happen.
I think we have.
I think we'll play. We'll come here. We'll marathon the game once a week for Crystal Chronicles, and we'll want to murder each other by the end of the Crystal Chronicles run.
Yeah, probably.
Which is about 6 games of co-op. And we have to be in the same room together. So just get ready for that, Schweiss. Get yourself emotionally ready. Let's not punch anything.
I don't think you guys realize the willpower that's going to have to go into this on my end of things. But we will do it, and I do invite you, Jake. I invite you to join us because he plays Crystal Chronicles too.
Okay.
He's the only one I know that's actually finished the first game.
Okay.
No one else. He's probably the only one in the world that's.
Oh, dude, there is not a time on My Life as a Dark Lord.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
on how long to beat. Not a single entry.
That's the RTS one, though, or no, not RTS. Tower Defense. Those
I don't know
both
what the hell
I
it
think
is.
they're both Tower Defense. Whatever.
But they are separate games. I did find that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be fun in the future.
It's. I wonder if it's going
I
to.
don't think we'll do it for the tactics though.
Yeah, it's because we're done.
We're done.
I kind of wish I would have because I know there's a function where you can loan characters to each other, and I was going to be like, "Hey Joe, if you couldn't beat the final boss, I was going to give you my dude." But then you beat the final boss easier than I did, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, that was a surprise to me.
Yeah, I just kept getting RNG fucked. But then at the end, I basically did what you were saying and just kept hasting Marsh and my main guy and my beat stick, and then it was pretty easy.
A review actually showed up. So let's get into our reviews, our legacy, our overall, and then our ranking.
All right. So Random Dude dropped a nice review for us. Starts out, can't you see it? It's escapism. It's not healthy. I have a lot of history with Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. I played it when it first came out.
I forgot about that line.
Back in 2003. Yeah.
I did. I laughed at that line. It was ridiculous.
It was over the top. And it was the very first Final Fantasy I ever played, and the very first turn-based strategy RPG I had ever played. And without a doubt, one of my very favorite video games of all time. The game itself seems to be very divided among fans, especially the story. Back when I first played it, the game was extremely popular. I had many friends and family I knew who played it. The game itself was extremely addicting. Being able to level your characters, teach them new abilities, the insane amount of missions you could go on. It all meshed very well together, and I saw firsthand how many people got sucked into it. It's from that same perspective as the kid I was back then that I can really relate to the story best, as I think it's the kind of story that speaks to kids the most. About what it would be like if you could trade the life you have for one of adventure and fantasy. Would you accept the new world before you, or would you reject it and attempt to return to the world you knew? For me as a kid, it was a no-brainer. Of course I would choose to stay fighting monsters, going on quests, wielding magic and giant swords, hanging out with my clan. In my mind, there was just no comparison. That's probably why it struck such a chord with me when I saw the protagonist trying to return home. Marsh is a really interesting character. For all the talk he has of wanting to go home, you'd think that the life he had was great, but it turns out he had a lot of problems in his OG life. He had just moved from another town. He lived with his wheelchair-bound brother that took the majority of his family's attention, leaving him mostly on his own. To most people in that situation, you'd think they'd be more happy to give up on their old life and pick up the fantasy world, but he doesn't. For Marsh, he is all too aware of what he himself desires and how easy it would be to give in to the want to stay. It's because of this that he realizes that the world around him is just an escape, not the reality, and that in order to do the right thing, he must return to the old world and break the dream. Now, really, honestly, all he is a red pill. That's just what Marsh is. He realizes that it's bullshit, and it's like, well, it either is or it isn't, and it isn't. So I'm fucking getting out of here.
This isn't the real world.
Yeah. So Marsh is a red pill, thank God. And that is a good point, though. And I just barely watched the movie a little while ago. It's Wonder. And it's kind of got the same thing. Like, the kid's all disfigured, and, like, his sister is, like, a great student and, like, a standout kid, but she never gets attention because the kid's, like, disfigured and he's always in the hospital and shit like that. So it had kind of a similar feel to that. But we didn't get any time with these two, so it didn't matter quite as much.
Still think the story's dumb, but that's an interesting take on it.
Yeah. Before I get too much into the overall dynamic of the escapism,
Also, this guy knows the game really well.
First, base review of gameplay, godly addicting. I had tons of time to play this game as a kid, so even though I didn't really know what I was doing, if you play for long enough, you eventually get to the point where no mission in the game is a huge obstacle. And honestly, the game starts to sway massively in your favor the closer to the end of the game you get, to the point that most people that get to the 300th mission find it pretty easy. I didn't really have a problem with this. I always enjoy games that give the player tons of power at their disposal, especially when it comes with lots of training or throughout knowledge of the game to get. Double sword paladins, yes. Double casting summoners, assassins that can kill in one strike. The amount of crazy builds you can set up in the game is insane. As an adult, though, if you don't have a lot of time, there are still tons of ways to break the game early on and make it a breeze, such as getting steel weapon and steel ability early. Those are great. You can literally have your entire team stealing the entire enemy team blind, getting crazy good items early on, and recruiting rare classes that aren't normally available at the beginning of the game using recruit quests. Getting units with 130-plus speed at level 2. It's tons of fun. You basically get out of this game what you put into it. And between all the classes that you get from all the different races, it's always tons of fun to customize your team in different ways in different playthroughs. And admittedly, I've played this game at least half a dozen times, and it never gets old. For design, what can you say? This game is the basis for what, if not, what? The best FF. Oh, what if it's not the best FF? Pretty damn close. FF12. The world of Ivalice, the races, the lore, the completely distinct gods and summons and what the series is used to. And completely world-class, the design they made for each race and all their jobs really puts together a picture that makes you believe these races could be real. The Banga with the lizardly tongues always speaking in slurs. The mystic Viera and their affinity to nature and the spirits. The magical Numo, and of course, Muggles. They come together in Ivalice in a way that surpassed most FF games, and it is expressed amazingly well on the hand-drawn sprites of the Game Boy Advance, with multiple highly detailed backgrounds of the mountains, rivers, deserts, and towns of the world, as well as the tiny animated sprites of the monsters and various races. Although, for comparison, I will have to say it's been since surpassed by A2. For what it was on the Game Boy Advance, it set a great precedent. Music is just all right, admittedly. Game Boy Advance was a kind of gimped when it came to music, and although there was good music on it, so he'll be fair and call it average. A lot of the songs were also pretty simple and repetitive. Soundtrack for Tactics only really starts once you get into FF12 and A2. This game is more of a preview in that regard. If you're going to play for 100 hours outside of cutscenes to have good music, just sticking to your playlist after the first couple hours is a fine alternative. Beyond that, Tactics Advance is ultimately a story about the nature of fantasy and its opposite, reality, and the determination to seek reality and to reject the ideas of running away and seeking escapism. The kind of story that especially relates to people like us playing our video games, escaping from the world to get absorbed into these magical realities, that it tells us to remember the importance of the actual reality we're tied to and the responsibilities that come with it, and not to waver and stay strong, and to realize the worth of the world we live in. Even I, to this day, have trouble separating my life from the games I play, and I do too. Occasionally, I pull out a giant sword, and I'm like, give me the fucking gill, or off with your head. And sometimes it's two swords.
Sometimes people call the cops.
Exactly. And
then you come back to reality and then run.
And then you get out. Even I, to this day, have trouble separating. All right, never mind. I think it's a ballsy idea for a video game to try to have, but maybe that's why it had such a big effect on me and why it stayed with me all this time. Coming from a game, it says a lot. Sum it up, I love this game to death. Maybe I'm hugely biased, but even even I think there are a lot of good points to the game worth talking about. And even after all these years of discussing, it always seems to come up regarding the question, would you stay or would you reject the world and return to your own? And hopefully it's a question that stays in people's memory for years to come. 10 out of 10 game. I will be playing it till the day I die. Top of the series, along with Final Fantasy X and 12 for me, and the best of the Tactics series. RPG. Perfection.
Craig is mad. I can see Craig back there shaking his head, and he is not happy with those words. But thank you for your review, Random Dude. Really appreciate that. That's a very interesting take on this game. I didn't think anyone would have a take like that. So, yeah. Schweiss, what do you think the legacy of this game is?
I think overall it's aged well, and I think it's going to age well in my eyes. And I mean, we try to kind of put ourselves in the moment when we play these Final Fantasy games. Like obviously we're not going to be like, oh, 7 looks like ass. They just look like Legos. Like we might call it out because it's like, well, I mean, 8 looks fucking way better than 7 does, but it's more than just what's on the surface. And I think this game, I think there's a lot more to video games than just the visual aspect. I mean, certainly we've played a lot of older games this last year, and like Metal Gear Solid has aged almost timelessly, other than the controls, I would say. You can still have a great story. Not that this game has a great story, but you can still have a great story, and you can still accomplish all those things with very limited technology. And I think the game has aged well, and I think it's one of the smaller ones in the series, but I think it kind of has something similar to what FF5 was, where when we started the show, assumed that no one had played 5 really, because the only people we'd heard talk about 5 didn't like it, and then we finally we started talking about how nobody likes 5, and then suddenly everyone's like, no, 5 is great. Everyone loves 5, and now we know, okay, everyone fucking loves 5. There's a yearly
Same with 9.
5-job fiesta that comes out, and it's like, no, 5 is the shit. So I think this game has kind of a similar tone to it, but I do think it is a very divided game, like people have mentioned.
It's way less popular than Tactics.
Oh, yeah.
The original. Mostly because I would think I was the only one streaming the game for...
I saw 2 people when I was streaming Tactics.
2 people streaming, yeah.
Because like when I was playing Tactics on my off time, I would just browse Twitch.
I mean, for such a big famous game, a sequel to such a big famous game like FF Tactics, like Tactics Advance, it's very overshadows. Part of it is that the original Tactics came out on like a AAA system, and the sequel came out on a handheld device, which is, of course, usually seen as something lesser, whether or not it is or not. So I think that's kind of part of it. I honestly had never heard anyone with an opinion talk about this game. We've had Final Fantasy. We've had 3 different forums. I never heard anyone talk about Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. We only just got a review.
I've heard like people say, "Wait till you get to this." Twice, and then Caleb doesn't like it.
And then
that's it.
Caleb Craig, who is our resident Tactics blowjob does not seem to care much for Tactics.
Yeah,
Advance.
he's got 2 PSPs with it in each hand, and then a UMD in his mouth.
So it's kind of just it's kind of a blip on the radar in terms of Final Fantasy history and legacy. And although I think both of us enjoyed the game, I don't think it did. I don't think it's one that's standing out as a super popular one. But, you might be right about the FF5 thing, and like tons of people love it. They just haven't said anything.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of people love Parasite Eve too, and I'm sorry, it's an absolute piece of shit game.
You actually said it on UFF.
It's awful. It's not an RPG. So fuck you guys if you don't like my opinion on it. You don't know. It's a fucking awful tank control survival horror with some RPG elements and more pain than possibly imagine. Yeah, it's suffering.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I don't know why I bitched about that just now, but I guess just I don't know. It's like you said though. It's like it's one that I've not really heard about. So it's a weird legacy, and I guess the community is slightly divided on it as far as we can tell.
Well, there isn't much of a community on it. at least as far as our listeners overlap. So, it is what it is. Schweiss, I liked the game, especially the gameplay aspect of it. I don't think it's that strong of a game in the Final Fantasy series. I did like the gameplay a lot more than Tactics. However, I thought the story, which is usually a pretty important aspect in Final Fantasy, not necessarily all video games, but in Final Fantasy especially, you usually want some really good story or some really good characters. And I thought in that respect, for me, it was lacking quite a bit and was honestly one of the worst story experiences I've had in this series. But the gameplay was pretty solid.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I would agree. I think the story's okay. I think it's serviceable enough. I think it's light in tone, and I think that kind of makes up for some of the stupid shit that the story brings with it. And I think there's really no other way to view some of those dumb lines and like the super meta, like, oh, do you play Final Fantasy? Oh, do you play Final Fantasy? I'm like, yeah, I play Final Fantasy, asshole. And some of that, like, I can kind of forgive it because they are kids, and like it has like a good tone. Like the game knows where it's going. I just don't like the direction it's going. It's like a good solid country album. Like I hate country. But I can tell that, like, it's like it has like a message. The album is one album. It all belongs together. It's just an album of shit. That's something I don't like. It might
like
work.
The twangy sound.
It might work within itself, but it does not work within my ears.
Sure.
That's kind of how I feel about the story in the game. Gameplay is great. Overall, I think this is a game that is definitely worth playing if you're a fan of tactical games. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy, either or, I'd say pick it up, play it. It's worth it. Try to do as many of the side quests as possible. I think they're pretty addicting. I think they're pretty fun. It's cool seeing, like, oh, man, what items am I going to get? Like, are they going to come back successful, or am I going to have to turn this fucking thing off, turn it back on, and try again? Like, and there are so many cool things you can do with the game. Like, that's one thing Aldwin brings up that he's completely right about, is, like, the combos are just ridiculous. And, like, me thinking about, like, okay, I'm gonna dual wield fucking paladin swords in the end of the game, and that's what I did, and it's sick. And there are so many cool little things that you can do, like what I did with the one guy. Like I hit my own character, and he counters, and he stabs through my guy to like stab the guy behind me with his dragoon lance to kill him to finish the fight. Like 10 out of 10 finish to that fucking fight. Right? there's so much cool shit you can do in this game, and it's worth every minute of the play, I would say.
All right.
So,
okay, we're to our rankings.
Okay.
Final part of this review. Schweiss, I have written my ranking down because I don't want anybody's rankings to affect anyone else's.
Well, I already saw it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Damn it.
And I'll tell you right now, it's not going to affect mine.
Okay, all right. What is we got our Evilise Alliance rankings right now. Currently, we both have Final Fantasy XII as the best game in the Evilise series that we've played so far. We still got 2 left. We still got Tactics Advance 2, and we have Vagrant Story. So, both me and you have Final Fantasy XII as the best one, Tactics, FF Tactics as the second best one, and then Revenant Wings as taking up the bottom.
Someone's got to be down there.
Schweiss, where are you putting Tactics Advance?
I am going to put Tactics Advance below Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay.
The story pales in comparison to Final Fantasy Tactics. The gameplay is improved, but it's not improved enough to really carry it over the original game. I think the story was dark. I think the story was interesting. I think the story was everything I've wanted all of the Final Fantasies to be, but they never will.
Okay.
Because they want to be teen games, so... Even though that one was teen, we can't do that anymore. We got to create the Vons and the Pinellos to bring a 10 to a 9. We're just addicted to it. We just can't have anything nice. Tactics Advance below Final Fantasy Tactics.
All right, Schweiss.
You put it above. What the hell?
I put it above.
What the fuck? No, you put it above on my list, is what it looks like.
No, I did not.
The
Tactics Advance.
ADV is confusingly in between.
Twice you have bad vision and you're sitting across and reading it upside down.
Dude, the A is like cutting into the top section, and the D is too.
Barely.
There are lines.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The v,
Okay.
Oh, the V is where it's supposed to be.
All right, well, fuck you. All right. No one knows what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah. Useless
Okay.
argument.
Final Fantasy XII is still number 1 for me. Below it is Tactics Advance, and then Tactics, and then Revenant Wings. Let me tell you why. Just enjoyment. Just enjoyment. Look, the story is fucking dumb in Tactics Advance. And the story is pretty good in Tactics. A lot of people love it. I'm kind of lukewarm on it. But the gameplay of the original Tactics was so deeply frustrating for me. And it wasted so much of my fucking time. This wasted some of my time. It wasted a few hours of my time, I'll admit.
There are lost hours, yes.
There are lost hours on Tactics Advance, but there are way less lost and pointless hours in Tactics Advance. So the feeling of mortality, of me going to my grave, knowing that I'm going to beat every fucking Final Fantasy game before I get there, realizing that, yes, it is a completely stupid thing I am doing, and it's not going to affect me in any positive way in my life, except that I got to play these games, and that was fun. It's not going to build any skills for me. It's not going to help my family in the future or anything like that. It's not going to get me rich. It's not going to do anything. Okay. If I have hours that are not counted on a save file, the feeling of hatred in my heart grows more and more every passing minute. Now, I understand a game can still be hard, but not make me waste an hour, sometimes even more, of my time in chunks over and over again. In that respect, I cannot forgive Tactics for what it has taken away from me. And Tactics Advance, both being better in gameplay and wasting less of my time, puts it above Tactics. There you go. There you go. Mostly I'm mad at Tactics for not having the same fucking aspects that Advance did, where it was like slightly more forgiving and a little bit faster. Otherwise, I might feel a little different about it and weigh story more against it. But I don't care, man. I'm never playing Tactics again because it just is too unforgiving. And you know what? I kind of liked Tactics Advance.
There you go.
Yeah. So, okay. That's our rankings, guys. Thank you so much for listening to our review of Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Our next game is Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2.
Grimoire of the Rift.
Grimoire of the Rift, whatever the fuck that means. I don't know what it means. I might have to look it up. Anyway, you can find our show if you don't listen to it. You can find it on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. You can check our website out at ultimafinalfantasy.com. You can support the show via our Amazon link there. You just click through that. We get a small kickback. You can also support us on Patreon. Thank you so much to our patrons who help support the show. We really appreciate your support. And thank you for many of you who hung on through our last couple of rough months. I realized that the show it wasn't in a good place. Me and Schweiss, neither of us were in good places either. But we're going to give you one more really good year of the Final Fantasy podcast that we're doing. So I hope you'll be on with us as we're going to get through these games pretty regularly. And I'm excited about that. You can tweet me at Joseph DeGolier.
Me at UFF Podcast.
And you can check out our other shows. We got Nude Clan, which it's not about sex or anything, although sometimes there is some basically the same type of humor you get on this show over there. It is about video games and all sorts of video games. we're reviewing South Park: The Fractured But Whole today, and I can't wait to get to that. I have a podcast called the Godzilla Podcast, so if you ever watched Godzilla movies as a kid, it's a great podcast to check out. We also have affiliated with us is a show called The Puff Puff Hour, a Dragon Quest podcast. So if you ever want to check out the series of games that Final Fantasy ripped off, that's a good show to check out.
And improved, of course.
It has Caleb Craig on it, who is our big fat guy who was on the who was on the original Tactics review.
See, I thought you were going to say our big tactics expert, but then you just
it's the same guy. So there you go. He's been on this show a lot, and that's his baby over there with Jake from Super Sexy Swinging Fanfiction, which is another show of ours, which might be having a rebirth. We'll see. And I think that's it, Schweiss.
Yeah, guys, we will see you again next week. But until then, as always, enjoy the Final Fantasy grind.